Yeah, because when I do content, especially ladies that become friendly with, we have content. People on the outside, especially the everyday person, when you see women like with muscle, it's kind of an offense. It's like there be comments like, "You're trying to be a man," but
Mhm.
here's the thing: is, oh, this is a beautiful lady right here. I don't see nothing manly about it. Maybe some women maybe get a little bit masculine, but here's the thing about being a man. I'm 50. So again, I'm 50 also, and
Mhm.
it took me a time to become a man. It took me time of growing up to do like this. You cannot be a man by physical appearance. It's something that takes
Alone.
time, a state of
Yes.
mind. It's like one
Yes.
thing a woman can never do. I can never be a woman, but there's also that flip side of it of us guys who are fanny ladies. Like we see ladies, y'all in shape, y'all on the stage in the posing suits. There's a small saying when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. But we understand that there's a lot to take to get that up. And again, I've talked to a couple of ladies that they told me that they have gotten divorced because they got into bodybuilding because
Yeah.
because the husband understand where they're getting, and friends and families have
Yes.
changed. Like
Yes.
especially when you're eating, when you go
Yes.
to events, you can't eat everything like just summer just passed,
Yep.
holidays. You can't eat everything. Like I know you got a 15-year-old home. I know
Yep.
she likes to eat this and that, but
Mhm.
mom, I don't not in the mood for that. Can I
Yeah.
have
You got to make food and still eat your own food. Yes, I will make you spaghetti. No, I will not eat it. That is a really hard moment. That is what I call a fuck it moment. I know, coach. I know my numbers are off. I had to make this food for Miranda. I needed to taste it to make sure it was right. Oh, really? You needed to do that? You don't think she could have just told you?
Yeah, the thing with that's bodybuilders, y'all are absolutely, even though y'all have extreme, eating habits, y'all are the biggest foodies. Like especially when I asked the question, especially your last competition back in 2023.
Mhm.
You just show it. Then there's the other guy that's like, tell me, Sierra, what was that thing that was calling you, that thing that you desired the most? Share with me. Share. Give
Oh
me
god.
come on, give to me. What is that? Anarchy and
This is like
chaos.
the voice of my inner demon. Um, everybody knows that I literally love donuts. Like literally, when Coach said you can have a donut when you walk off stage, I was like, sign me up. Where's the line? I just put my name down. I'm in. Old fashioned glazed donuts. That's my kryptonite right there. But yeah, I mean, I'm from the South. I think you and I talked about that. I'm from South Carolina. We are
North Carolina.
raised to we practice preventive eating, right? Like we eat just in case we might get hungry later. And food and family are deeply intertwined, right? Like we have so many traditions around meal times in and of themselves, but then also like foods that get eaten at certain times of year for certain traditions. And if you're in prep, tough shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's like that sense of like, oh, you don't love us anymore because you're not doing the thing. And it's like, no, it's not about you. It's actually about me. And it's okay that it's about me because
Yeah.
in my case, life has been about you for a very long time. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
And then
It's some of that.
being South is traditional because like this year Thanksgiving, my sister and my two older sisters and my nephews went out of town to visit my oldest niece. I was at home and I cooked myself a little something, not too fancy, a little ham, a little this, a little
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
My first Thanksgiving without the family. But then we
mhm.
went to my sister's house for Christmas, had rice and chicken and turkey
Yeah.
and ham and collards and all, and it's just food is just it's a thing, and especially being a fat man, it's just one thing is it's comfort. Here we got a comment from my man Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence coming through. He says, "Good afternoon, Sierra, George, and everyone on the chat. Happy Saturday. Thank you, brother." I tell you, Sierra, when I get a new girl out here, it's like the Chappelle show. Say, "Hey, George got a new girl. He found the motherfucker." So to get excited, but yeah, there's so much to the sport. People need to understand the factors of it, grow and develop it. Like I said again, everybody's mindset is mostly is always saying steroids, you take steroids, you be like, and then the everyday person, like you said again, most women back in the day say, if I lose with 10 pounds, I think I'm gonna be Arnold Schwarzenegger. No.
Right. We wish it was
Again,
that easy, sis. We really do. We wish it was that easy.
you mentioned early the fit model division, excuse me. I mean, I don't care much about that. Here's the thing is, I've been following bodybuilding for a long time, and I've seen how it's evolved. How it was like back
Yeah.
in the day, how even the figure competitors might
Mhm,
outdo the ladies from back in the early '80s, like someone like
mhm,
Corey Everson.
mhm.
It's the evolution of an athlete,
Yeah.
and you're bringing in something that most women will probably will be do as well. Because I think it's more for TV boppers. It's throwback bikini, like how physique division is more like maybe a throwback to film like Linda Murray, who's a lady I saw. I have met her. I saw her in person, but I never got a chance to talk to her. I need to talk to Lena Popa. I was in Savannah, my first Bible show in my life. Got to meet Lena Popa. She's a beautiful woman, just amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
And and also they talk about donuts. Shaming Shia Oleg. I met her, did an interview with her. She also loved donuts. And what I learned from you ladies, you do this sport because it's a passion.
Yeah.
And people from the outside who don't understand it, because I'm like I said, I'm an outsider, but I'm a fan. And I do podcasts. We talk about this every Monday. We have a Must Talk Money Talk. We're going to do one tomorrow. We talk about how if you get a pro card now, you have to, if you don't be active for 3 years, yeah, that's that's gonna be tough because a lot of these people use that pro card
To build this.
yeah, it's like being a electrician or a plumber. It's license and bonding.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. This is from a man. Lawrence says, "Bless you, George." Yeah, nah, man, don't bless me. I'm just, like I said again, I'm just a muscle person, more relaxed buff chick. That's why I do this. But but when your last competition, what was the feedback from the judges?
Yeah, so that would have been the Titans Grand Prix, where I won the overall for physique. And yeah, mainly quads, shoulders, lats, quad, shoulders, lats. That was the, just to gain size, basically. Proportions, they were appreciating my proportions. They just want them bigger. So yeah, that's why I've been eating and sleeping and lifting. Like, that's my goal right now, is just like eat, sleep, lift, just build it and I do think that testosterone overall is just helping, like, as I said, with the smoothing out of my energy throughout the day. I don't really feel like I'm like as depleted after a workout or at the end of the day. So that longevity piece seems to be kicking in. But yeah, I have 2 shoulder days, 2 leg days, and then I do back and try and chest and bi, and then I rest 1 day a week. So I'm enjoying that because I feel like, if I can get that the shoulder size and density up while maintaining the proportions of front to back legs, just getting them bigger, I think back is looking great. Back is still like surprisingly, for where I started, back has become kind of like my best asset. So we're feeling confident.
Yeah, I know quite often the back is the thing that really, if you bring it up, everything can look good in the front. But
Right.
that back doesn't come in that conditioning,
Yeah.
it can hurt you. I've seen ladies
Yeah.
who run shows with their backs. Or, and also you're doing figure, you have to have those round
Right.
delts and shoulders.
Yeah.
Which one you prefer, figure or physique?
For sure, physique. I mean, I told coach earlier, I was like, I kind of miss figure. Like, I miss the poise of it. But literally the entire time that I competed in figure, it was he and I were just in this like constant low key argument because I'm a dancer and I wanted to like take up space. Like with my transitions, I wanted to like bring more like to it. And he was like, "You're doing too much. Do less. Do less." And because, like I told you, bodybuilding has been a process of reclamation, a process of taking up all of my space in my body and in the world. And if I'm being told to be smaller, that's really antithetical to where I feel that my trajectory is going. So we were like, maybe we should try physique. And we started putting those poses on my body, and it was like the lion had been let out of the cage. Like I was in my element. I could take up all of the space and use more of the aesthetics. I had a broader posing vocabulary because it's basically classic, but for women. So it opened up all of these new angles and more floor work, like being on the floor. I love the 6-foot Amazon feel of being on stage with those 4-inch heels, but dude, when I mean, and actually in the UNBA that year they didn't do a best poser award, but that one of the judges found me backstage after and was like, "I'm really bummed that we didn't do a best poser award because you killed it. I would love to see you on stage again." So that made me feel really good, and I do feel like WPD is where I can bridge those worlds between the mass of bodybuilding and the beauty and flow and self-expression of my dance training. So yeah, I'm gonna stay in physique for a while. I told coach, I was like, well, even Chris Bumstead did a side quest. He was like, yeah, after he retired because I'm Olympian, like stay on focus, girl.
Well, like I said, you know what? Like I said, I've been more a fan of women's bodybuilding for a long time. I wasn't too fan of physique. I call it watered down women's bodybuilding. But doing this content, I've interviewed ladies in, physique, some fitness competitors,
Mhm.
some bikini competitors. I even a while back I interviewed a wellness competitor. Some ladies did wellness as amateurs, but I got my first wellness
Right.
pro. A friend of mine named is Jada. She was actually she started out in figure. She was physique, then she was bodybuilding for a while. Went back to physique. Now she's doing wellness. You
Oh,
know,
oh, wait,
I
is that
think
Michelle? Wait, who is that?
her name is Jetta Beverly.
Okay,
I'll
go
send you
look.
a link if you want to check her
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
And I think every person trying to find their place in the
yeah,
divisions. Like I
yeah,
think as you see, the sport has evolved with the years.
yeah.
If you go back to the early stages of, I think when I do interviews, with ladies, I tell you who's the person we inspire. So it pop. Bailey's the first person they pop in their mind.
Mm.
Not big, too much fan of hers. Iris Cowles, I really respect her what she had done for the bodybuilding. People like let's say Andrea, that's my girlfriend, and
Yeah.
I know I sound like stockish, but I think she's so beautiful. She's a great look to her, and I just think it's one thing is I'm not too much a fan of the divisions, as I call them, the TNA division. That's wellness and bikini. All you gotta do is run around, shake your butt. And I do have a little bit, I do figure I do see some aspects because many of those ladies eventually either go up to physique and to women's bodybuilding. One lady who I'm a fan of, Ashley Jones, she was a figure competitor, then did
Mhm.
physique. Now she's
Mhm.
number 3 in the
Yeah,
world in women's bodybuilding.
yeah, and she looks so good there. Like her overall shapes, the fullness of her muscle bellies, like I mean, and she just looks joyful. And I think that's like one of my bodybuilding crushes is Manon Dutilly. She's been in figure forever, and then she made an announcement early, or like last year, 2024, that she was going to go to WPD, and I think she did a show or two where I was just like, I can never not see this. And now she's decided to do wellness. And my heart was a little broken. I was like, oh, like my girl crush was going to be in WPD and now you're going to wellness. But it's like, where is your joy? I mean, I think for her, I haven't had this conversation with her, but my guess is, when you come down off the heels and you've got your foot back on the ground, it is a whole different feel. And the heels do bring out some more of that like oozy, softness that,
Femininity.
yeah. I mean, and I get what you're saying about the TNA, but I have a lot of respect for the grind that each bikini and wellness have to do because they do all of the divisions that all of the divisions have their own grind. I have a like sort of bipolar feel about the fit model. On the one hand, I'm so stoked for all of the moms that are looking at the bikini gals and saying, oh, I wish I could look like that, but I never will, or doing all the stuff that I did at the beginning too. But finding a doorway in through fit model, like that grind of reclaiming yourself is worthy of respect. Wellness, those women could deadlift your freaking car. Like the 3 leg days a week, you got to respect it. Bikini, the level of like self deprivation that the mental game they go through, you got to respect it. So I think wherever competitors land, is that where your joy is? For me, it was physique 100%. As soon as I started moving in those ways, I was just like, yeah, take over, like, let's go. The stage belongs to me now.
Yeah, one thing is I think everybody has the one things that works for them. Like I follow Manon. I think she has a great physique. I think she may need to stick with. I think she needs to stick with physique. Figure if you don't have this is what we say like if you don't have those strong. I mean, wellness, you don't have those strong Afro aesthetics. That's why the Brazilians do so well. They have
Yes.
the bigger hips, the around the booties. They have those
Yes.
strong Afro aesthetics. It's harder if you don't have those.
Yep.
And I know I did an interview with a lady who she's a Bulgarian, and she got a pro card was about a couple years ago in Romania, and
Mhm.
wins bodybuilding, wins physique. And she told me how she was working out with I think it was Yasha or Sheer, how she her name, the wellness queen. She
Mhm.
was a
Oh,
Bulgarian doing
Marisha.
Yasha. She was a Bulgarian doing Bulgarian switch with a Puerto Rican. And I mean, and
Very different
it's
bodies.
very bodies, and it's a lot of work. Like I said again, Like I said, I do respect these ladies. I do, but I'm like this. I mean, honest with you, the bikini and those bikini and wellness are invasive species in my mindset. You
Mm,
did not grow and spawn off like the others. Like when women's bodybuilding started off, fitness came off of women's body because ladies want to be
mhm,
a little smaller.
mhm,
They didn't want to be as big.
mhm,
Then here comes figure because ladies didn't want to do all the jump around chicken sweat. Then
mhm.
here comes physique because they want to look like the classic look of
Feminine.
like me,
Mhm.
yeah, and athletic look. But then I said again, if you saw the last Olympia, and you look at someone like Sarah Vilgas and how her body's evolved. Like I've seen a video of my friend Robbie, where she talked about how the aesthetics have changed.
Mhm.
If you're seeing women with even in the getting styration in the glutes, and you see it in divisions, and you see abdominals in bikini competitors. But here's the
Yeah.
thing is, I won't blame the athletes. It's up to the judges.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
ones who set the criteria in the work. Instead of bringing another division, which is what's going to happen, is it's going to evolve. We're not going to do no crossover, but it's
Mm.
about money. And if you can cross over from fit model to bikini and make money from, and promoters make money from that, that's
Double.
what's going to
Right.
happen.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's one thing you talk about how it's some companies say it should be some crossovers because if it's so easy, like I did a lady who earned her pro card in both physique and women's bodybuilding, and she looks more like physique, but she owned it because there
Oh,
was only so
is that
many.
Kara?
No, Kara was at the U.S.
Yeah. She just got it in the
Yeah,
Masters.
and also interview a lady who her name is Samantha. She competed that same show. She got her pro
Mhm.
card there,
Mhm.
and I interview a lady also competed that show, but she didn't get a pro card. This her name is Natalie Miller, and
Mhm.
Natalie she looks very more like the physique standard. Also, the interview another lady. Her name was Diana Perez, and
No,
she
that's
also got a
my
pro card.
girl.
Oh, you're Diana. She's cool. Lady. She did good
I'm
amount.
only her Instagram friend follower, but yeah, she knows that she's been one of my big idols for a while.
Yeah, we did last Sunday we did a little I do every so often like every once a month we try to do a Sunday get together, try to get the ladies on here and give
Yeah,
some
yeah,
perspective of bodybuilding.
yeah,
She was on there last Sunday. She's a great, cool little lady. Yeah, I want to say to her, thank you to her service. I won't say thank you for service, but I appreciate the sacrifice she has made as a
yeah.
citizen in the military. My
Mhm.
my oldest niece and my youngest nephew were in the military, and as the athletes evolve, instead of bringing something is just going to evolve with sport because bodybuilding is very influential in extreme sport. I know some women will say like, "I'm going to stay like this," but then we
Right.
around a lot of these competitors.
Mhm.
After a while, you can't help but you know what? Someone like to grow muscle, and
Mhm.
then you want to follow the Andrea Shaws or the Sarah Vilgas or the Natalias or
Mhm.
Andrew Yo or as you just saw Mrs.
Yeah,
Trescott, she's
yeah,
switching over
yeah.
to figure. And this is I'll put
Right?
something
That's
quick.
it. Like, go where you love it. Go where you love
Yeah,
it and go where the feedback leads you. Like when I did
yeah,
that crossover here with figure and physique, I took second. Every class that I competed in figure, I was second, second, second. When I did the same show but WPD, first, first, first overall. So it's
yeah,
like the judges will tell you both through your placing and also in the feedback off stage, like they're again that objective eye to some degree that's seeing you differently than you see yourself, and like, yeah, go where you fit, go where it like makes sense for you.
yeah. Like here's an example here. Like I posted this a while back. Look at Sarah and look at Missy. Even
Yeah,
though Missy says she will never do women's physique, she's not too far from it. Or this one here, I took in it's actually this is one with Ashley Jones and Margie Martin. And this was when Ashley was still in women's physique. And this was
yeah.
when Margie was in women's when her last competition back in 2022.
Wow.
It's said again, it's the evolution of every athlete as they grow and develop, as they change.
Mhm.
This is one of my favorites of Ashley. I love this one. I'm just like saying I just love this one because I just love.
That is so quad.
I mean, just her smile, and especially as a black man, I love black women with muscle. Just so beautiful. No offense to y'all white ladies, y'all look beautiful too, but just
That's
the natural
right.
melody is just so
I
beautiful. So, yeah, but like I said, this is a sport where there's a lot of sacrifices you got to make in time, money.
Mhm.
Relationships change. I know your brother ever come to your shows or you see
My
what's his like?
brother has not. He's been in a pursuit of his doctoral in physical therapy and having a baby and building an amazing life on the East Coast. So, but he, because he also is an athlete and now a doctor of physical therapy, he is a huge supporter and he's always checking in on me and he's always sending me articles about why I shouldn't use any PEDs, and if I have like weird stuff going on in my mechanics, I'll always like hit him up and be like, hey bro, like, can you dock me for a second? Like, what's going on with my rotator cuff? So yeah, no, he's a great supporter.
I think he wants you to be like one day go up and say, call his sister, hey sis, how you doing? He said, I'm doing fine. What we're about to do is family.
Right,
It's like
right.
Vin Diesel, like,
Oh
it's
God. I
500,
hope
man, I
not.
got to beat today. So,
I
yeah,
hope not. I want to be able to sing lullabies to my grandchildren and sound like
yeah,
like a grandmother, not like a dude.
yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a man. I don't have that big a voice, but that is, I think, the aspect of any athlete is to get to the next level and to understand the work you put in. And your coach, shout out to Phoebe,
Mhm.
and they're doing great work with you. And um, I think, like again, people don't understand what it takes to be this sport. I say this when we go to the show, especially us fans, us muscle hurt smells. We see y'all ladies, and it's like, yeah, y'all jacked, y'all shredded, y'all little suits, y'all popping the muscles. We get excited, but we don't understand what it took you to get there, the
Mhm.
work, the sacrifice, dehydration, tired. Sometimes you're hungry, you're hangry,
Mhm.
and
A
there's so
lot of
much
the
involved in it. And then the other aspects of it, because sometimes it's like this. To quote my man Rocky Bolt, this can beat you down and bring you to your knees if you're not careful. But like I
yeah.
said, it's not, but
And
like
if
I
it
said,
doesn't, you're probably not doing it. I
yeah,
mean, like it's the same thing as if you're pushing weight in the gym and you're not making mean faces or grunts, you're probably not pushing hard enough. And if this sport doesn't humble you, if there aren't days when you are like crying and asking yourself, WTF am I doing with my life right now? You're probably not working your program the way that you could or should be to get where you're trying to go. It is transformational. Trans meaning beyond, form meaning the literal form, the body, and that process. And it is, like I said, body, mind, emotion, and spirit if you orient yourself to that part of yourself. So there's no aspect of your life that will not be changed if you really embrace it. And I just, I hope that more women walk into the doors of gyms for whatever their goals are, whether they want to be bodybuilders or not, and just take up space and reclaim their bodies and give themselves all the permission that they want to be as strong and powerful as they want in any part of their lives. Because if you don't, who else is going to do it for you?
yeah, like you have to live for yourself. You can't live for everybody. Like I said, your kids are pretty much a grown. You have to live for you. To quote my man Bernie Mac, if people don't like who you are, fuck them. That's all you gotta say. Here we got here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is for a man. Shout out to our man Lawrence Perkins. Thank you for hanging there. It says, Miss Sierra, your story will continue to inspire others around the world, including myself. I just wanted to tell you, no, keep on striving all the way. I say this to every guest with George. Yeah, because this is my man. Well,
Thank
sometimes
you.
the ladies know him well. I call him. He's the female bodybuilding whisperer. Sometimes
Yeah.
if I have a guest on here and Lawrence just said, "Oh, it's Lawrence. Oh, you know Lawrence? I said, yeah, I know Lawrence. He's a good dude. You never met, but I appreciate when he comes in here and comment and support your ladies because I think support is good because like so
Yeah.
we said this friendships have changed because like one thing when you get into bodybuilding you can't go out like you used to. You can't go
Yeah,
to the
I had a
club.
guy one time because I am dating, and it is interesting trying to date as a bodybuilder because they want to know, like, can I take you out and where do you want to go? And it's like, well, I need to go somewhere that has either salmon, steak, or chicken, and I need to be home by 10 o'clock. They're like, or I'll just bring my own food. Like when I was in prep, I was just like, you don't need to take me to a restaurant. Let's just meet at the beach. I will bring my food. And they're like, you're the cheapest date ever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty demanding in all the other aspects. So just be grateful that I'm bringing my food prep. Yeah, it's hard. It's like friends want to invite you to stuff. Chris Bumstead, talked about that in tears, about how eventually people just stop inviting you because they're tired of you saying either no or only being able to participate, partially because of the food or the sleep or the training or whatever. So, yeah, it takes a certain kind of people to be our people. And yes, our kids, our families, we're always going to do whatever we can to maintain those connections. I'm never going to be the kind of bodybuilder that's like, either get with it or get out as far as my children are concerned. But as far as everybody else is concerned, when it comes like to dating or relationships, it's like, if you can't roll with it, please roll on, because I'm not changing this path for anybody. And yeah, I mean, that's a part of the feminism, I think, of bodybuilding. The fact that women are even in this sport is a sign of progress. The fact that there are so many divisions and so many places for women to find themselves, I think, is an act of feminism. And I think women owning their bodies and taking up space and showing up at the gym, even if they've never been there before or for 15 years, it's an act of feminism, because like, we're just trying to make our way in this world, and this is a great path to do it. It can be as personal as you want it to be, or it can be as public as you want it to be.
Yeah, 2 snaps up. We go, girl. Yeah, but I think a lot of men feel like, especially when we get to sport, it's like you get into our area of the masculinity part. But
Mm,
this is the thing is, you're an athlete, and you
mm,
are a mother, and you are a woman, and that's one thing that you always going to be. There's nothing, no matter how much weight you lift, you're never going to be a man, because we're always going to be different. This house is like men and women. We're the same race, but with different species.
mm,
Somebody say genders, I say species, but
mm.
aspects of where you get into sport and what you get out of the sport is important for you. The guys who get into it, they do it because they like it, they love it. Just saying, you ladies, they know it's not as profitable. If you're lucky enough to get sponsorship, like,
Mhm.
have you been approached by sponsors or anybody?
I haven't really been about like trying to build a presence or anything. I'm a nature therapist and an athlete and a mom, and I'm not really great with technology. I wouldn't be opposed to it for a company that represents values that matter to me. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's something I'll ever have to deal with, but when I get there, I'm open to it, and I'll evaluate it and how how their messaging and my personal beliefs line up.
Yeah, that's the hard part, especially for ladies who get into sport, because they try to find ways to make income. Sponsorship does help. Quite a few ladies who I know, they do, as I call them, the beat the meat websites. That's her OnlyFans or her biceps. It's the way they make money, because there is, like I said, it's a big fetish, because you ladies,
Yeah,
there's something
and
about
I don't have any judgment about that at all. I mean, for sure, people have asked me to do that. As a therapist and a performance coach, there's a part of me that is like, I would really hate for one of my clients to land on one of those sites. I'd hate for one of my children to like, I that's not for me. I mean, maybe something innocuous like cute toenails or something like that. But what I am doing is launching a Patreon for the Gym Rat Therapist to build a community of support, interactive coaching support for master's level athletes, and especially the women, where I'll post content, recorded content once a week, and have interaction with folks in the comments to support them in whatever the like sticky points are for them trying to get to their next level of success, along with weekly lives to address any like topics that come up in the comments or in the DMs, or like people that join the live can be, real time, coaching and mindset work and relationship strategizing, and just looking at any of the ways that self-limiting thinking and behaving is getting in the way of their progress. So I am moving in the direction of utilizing some of those, I guess you might call them passive income platforms, but I want to do it in a way that is of service and aligned with what I feel like my mission is, and is that hinge point between my skills as a therapist and a coach, with my life experience as an athlete and a competitor. So I'm excited about that on Patreon. It's the Gym Rat Therapist, and we'll see where that goes.
Well, I wish you best luck with that, because I know it's tough, because a lot of people, especially in my community, the black community, we don't
Mm,
want to talk about stuff like mental health like that. It's
yep.
just
Yep.
it's very, we feel like it's y'all problem, white people's problem, but everybody, all humans have mental issues.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I accepted that. There's like, I remember I was watching a show that's like, there's a difference between a psychopath and a psychotic. A psychotic
Yes.
don't think he's crazy. A psychopath knows he's crazy, and I know I'm a psychopath. But
Woo!
yeah,
Well, I will say that that is why many therapists also offer a coaching arm, because the therapy side, the clinical side, is where we like do the diagnosing and we dig into all the shadows of the closet and we're really looking at deep pathology. Whereas the coaching arm is very much more about like right here, right now. I'm not going to give you a label. There's not going to be a treatment plan. We're not going to talk about this as pathology. We're going to talk about this as challenges in your life right now. What are you doing that's maintaining that? And what do you need to do differently to be out of that cycle and to be on to a new thing that is actually moving that stuck place forward? So my hope is that, people listening to this will know that like, you don't have to go into that scary world of like being psychoanalyzed to get the support that you might need to be successful in whatever it is that you're trying to do. I mean, that's the difference between therapy and coaching. And so maybe for some folks, the coaching arm feels a little bit like more accessible and spacious and, a little less heavy.
hmm. So, are you planning on getting your doctorate or maybe your
You know,
PhD
when
strategy?
I got the master's, I had that opportunity to do a continuous program where you did 2 years to acquire the master's and then just keep going for 2 more years to get the PsyD. And at that point, what I decided was, and so the thing about psychologists is that they're mostly doing assessments. They're mostly like meeting in one-off or two-off sessions to do like these battery of tests and then give you like this very like specific outcome of information. And that's not really where I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be down in the trenches with people. I wanted to be in the process. I wanted to be in longer term relationships where I could really be a part of the transformative process. And that's what the master's and the licensed marriage and family therapist does for me. And that's where I find my satisfaction and self-expression. And so I decided like, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to like maximize my contribution to humanity that way. And if I get bored, then maybe I'll go back and do this ID later. But, mainly I'm filling myself up with like additional certifications, like eco psychology, like applied sports psychology, moving farther into the executive coaching, mental performance coaching side of things, so that I feel like I have a diversity of tools and expressions that, I don't have to buckle down and like sign my life over to something equally as demanding as bodybuilding is, but in a chair with a computer for hours a day. Like it's a whole job to do a doctoral degree. So maybe when I'm older and maybe when I'm done with bodybuilding, maybe.
Yeah. So you just want to keep your boots to the ground, 10 toes down, and be in the trenches.
Yeah, I really prefer to be like that person who's gone through the dark night of the soul and just a few steps ahead of other people coming out of the dark night, or if they're still down there in the dark and they're just like, I can't imagine how to get out of here. Then it's like, oh, that's okay. I've already been down here. I know the way. I know ways out. I don't know your way out, but I know ways out, and we can figure it out together.
As she mentioned the Dark Knight. I want to ask you something, Doctor. What do you analyze about me? What do you get a load of me? What do you think of my scores? Am I my anarchy? I'm Agent Chaos. Yeah. Oh, Doctor, before I leave, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful.
Yeah, I appreciate that you give your dark side a platform, because a lot of people don't acknowledge that they have that dark side and they try to hide it, and then it comes out sideways and people feel it and they call people out on it, and then they're offended because they've said out loud the thing that you're not accepting about yourself, but you fully accepted that you've got a joker in there. So like, good on you. I feel like that's pretty healthy.
Well, I have more than Joker. I have quite a few others. I have my first one was what a man called me the pervy sage.
Oh,
Jariah from
interesting.
IC. Yeah, called me pervy sage. And then there's another one. He's called Silky Johnson. He's the player hate of the year. Sometimes he comes out because he can't hate no more. And then there was one that I developed. I don't use him too much, but I call him. He's Jon Snow. He's like, it's often when I do this stuff and people send me stuff like, I call them my little birdies. They're my ravens. They send me information. I'm Jon Snow, the master of the wall, the bastard of Winterfell. I'm not a bastard. My parents are married, but when doing this, you need that to help you because there's a lot of stuff that's in this. And like I said, again, I've sat and talked with ladies and had conversations, and it takes a shit. I mean, I remember I used to work at, like I said again, I worked with women for a long time. My first job was working at a gas station, and I worked 13 years in textiles with women, and then I worked 6, 7 years in a strip club. And it's one thing, guys would say like, dude, you rather. Some days it's not a good day for them, and if they do, sometimes we sit and have conversations, and because especially the sexualization of women, it's
Yeah.
just it's hard, and even in this sport, not just the bikini girls and the wellness girls, the figure girls, physique
Everyone.
competitors.
Everyone. I
I
mean,
mean,
patriarchy. I think you have to accept that. We live in a patriarchy, and we're seeing it especially with the current political climate, that women are seen as a resource and a commodity, and there is a desire to control us and how we contribute and how we exercise our freedoms. So yeah, sexual exploitation of women is as long as the history of human beings. And the more conscious men become, and I love that there's so many men who are watching this live and commenting in positive ways and recognizing any contribution that I might be making to the bigger conversation, because we need y'all to be the ones to speak up and stand up when you hear effed up stuff like your body, my choice. We need y'all to be our protectors. We didn't necessarily think that we needed that as we came out of the 80s and the 90s, and women started moving into the workforce, and the pay gap and all of the things that have, are it built into the system of women emerging into greater parts of society. But at this point, as a very strong feminist, and as a woman who, for most of my life since I've been divorced for 12 years, did not think that I wanted to be married again. But at this point, I recognize that the way that this country is going, if I choose to stay here, I and other women will need the physical and financial protection of men. So we need you guys to recognize that there are systems at play that are anti-woman, and they're anti a lot of other things, including anti-Black, anti-people of color, anti-religions that are different than what the, governmental,
anti-sexual orientation,
everything, anti pretty much everything except
the
white
white males, they're
male
savage.
straight.
Because here's not me. I'm a descendant. I'm a descendant of a slave. I'm not. I'm just only 3 generations.
Right.
My great grandfather was a slave. My grandfather was a sharecropper. My
Yes.
parents were sharecropper. I
Yes.
sharecropper a little bit. We came from an area where we had to work. My parents had
Yes.
to work because they had to. My mother had to feed 6 kids.
All
She
those
had seven, but she
kids.
lost one.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing is, and that's why I have respect for women. I like I said, we still love y'all women because
Yeah, I
we
know,
stay.
but you're doing a great job of walking the line, right? You're doing a great
Yeah,
job of expressing your respect and enthusiasm while also giving us a platform to have voices. And
that's that,
yeah, that's my
that's
plea, I guess, with any of the men listening, is just to please continue to be an amplifier for women and a protector, because we're going to need you guys.
that's why I did this because really, why I started this because this was helping my man deal with my mom's issues. And
Mm.
then when I just started getting into it fully, because like I said, I've been a fan of bodybuilding for a long time. And I've been a fan of you ladies. I mean, like I said, my brother used to play football here in our hometown. I used to get the muscle max. I remember
Mhm.
grew up with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Labrada, and Lee Haney and those great guys. But then y'all women, y'all came up, especially when I was getting to my pubescent age, and seeing people like Corey Everson and Laura Craval and Vicky Gates and some beautiful women, and then doing this content and knowing what it takes to be a woman in sport. Like
Mhm.
not everybody can be like the great Ronnie Coleman says. Not everybody want to be a bodybuilder. No one can live his
Yeah,
heavy
but
ass weight.
nobody want to listen to a heavy ass weight.
But I said again, this is a passion sport. Some people, this is their life. This is where they make their money off of. But also, there's people that enjoy doing this. As you know, as you heard recently, the the pro card thing that might hurt a little
Yeah.
bit. I don't know, maybe not. Some competitors may say, you know what, let me go ahead and compete because I worked so hard to get to this level.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that pro card. Others they say, you know what, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a little card. I
Mhm.
just go ahead and start at the
Yeah.
bottom. Always move on.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of this sport that really is a sport of about passion and
Mhm.
finding yourself as an
Yep.
athlete, as a woman
Yep.
or a man.
Yep.
This is why I do this because I would love someday to have Andrea on here, do an interview with her.
I
I
hope
mean,
you do.
I would love to. I used to pick up my man Big Keith. He's an IFB pro. He comes out here and we do a
Yeah.
podcast together. He was one time training with Andrea. One time he had sent me a picture of it. He said, "Hey, get your hand on my girl." But I stopped doing it because I can't be jealous. He's my brother. I love him, but I told him, but I stopped doing it. But I get to learn what from every person I do interview. I learn a little bit, and also I use some of those things to help my life. Like I said again, I was almost 500 pounds. After my mom died, I was at 500 pounds, just about it. It was just
Yeah.
10 to 15 pounds away from it. And
Yeah.
then talking with you ladies, and and I knew one thing I need to get back into. I try to walk out a little bit, but I got two bad knees. I still cold Steve Austin because I'm got arthritis. I have this kick about. I do pretty good because the last time I went to my cardiologist, everything's pretty good on my pacemaker. Just a
Good.
couple of years ago, I gave me a battery, and I really learned what it takes. Like I say again, I do find your ladies intoxicating, but I do respect your passion, your work ethic, and what you take to do this sport. Not everybody can do this. Most people wouldn't want to, go on a diet when you have to eat quinoa or rice and this and your workouts. Like you say, you love your back. What's your least favorite workout when you're training?
Arm day. I need it. I mean, that's the thing is like everything that we resist is probably the very thing that we most need. And I speak that from bodybuilding as well as like just our mental health. The thing that we least want to do is probably the thing that we most need to do. And arm day is that for me. I'm a long limbed woman, right? Like I'm 5'8", and my levers are really long, and it takes a long time to put mass on a longer lever. So yeah, arm day is a particular kind of pain.
And what's your favorite?
Back day, hands down.
Yeah. Well, I got a friend of mine. She's like 5'9". She's an Ivy Pro. Her name is Tina Williams, and
Oh, good.
she's
I'm gonna look
five
her up.
nine. Yeah, I show you a picture right here. This is she competed last year at the Grand Prix show. They was having it in Anaheim. Their debut. I don't think I'm gonna have it this year because it's not on the list. This is Tina. Tina, she's
Yes,
5'9". She had a couple of kids. Beautiful lady. She's been on here a
yes.
couple of do our podcasts. Her and her husband. You know, I think it takes a lot of you ladies who are tall a lot more time because,
Mhm.
as you know, the shorter girls like you look at someone like Makeda
Yeah,
Aycock, or she's
yes,
just they're so compact. They can put on muscle
yes.
like that. You know,
Hmm.
but it's tough. Here we got here. Shout out to my man, Balls Deep. He says, he says, you are sexy as AF. You got white privilege. You'll be okay.
Hey, they're coming
Also,
for all of us. They're coming for all of
yeah,
us.
so yes, Lord. So yeah, because you know what? I mean, I'm just people. I don't know why. I'm gonna say this. You put in the man who does a nut, who has failed in business, who keeps getting married. And his first wife was an immigrant. His last wife was an immigrant. She actually kissed y'all governor before she kissed her own husband. I had to tell you
Yeah,
something.
I definitely was. I was definitely analyzing that interaction, and there was a lot of information in there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because
I wish I could join the chat. I don't know if I join the chat if I'm gonna mess anything up. So I'm just gonna say I wish I could respond to all of these. It's really fun to read them, and I really appreciate all of the support, you guys.
that's
That's
why
really
that's
sweet.
That's why I like doing lives because some people they do the recordings, pre-recordings. I like doing lives because I love when you guys come here and they make comments. I know Ballsy, you like to say she's gonna flex. I don't ask anybody to flex because sometimes the ladies are always posing. They get enough. See, they want to see flexing because they want to. Oh no, don't take out. She's about to take out his jacket, balls deep.
I
Okay,
haven't even trained yet today. So
you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
we don't have a pump, but here we
There you
go.
go.
A
Okay,
little
you
bit,
guys, you got a
a little
little
bit,
flex. So
a
put
little
away your
flex.
tissue, your lotion.
And
Okay.
I've got a big, it's a big exposure here with the light,
Yeah,
so I'm
that's all right.
super
That's
white
cool.
right
You
now.
don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. But they always have to say, hey, yo, get into flex. Sometimes we get tired of flexing. Sometimes we have like that's a conversation. You
I
want to go
love
flex? Go
flexing.
to the IGs. They always post those videos, but these guys.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's it
Just throw
again.
my IG in there. They can
Yeah,
go check
but
it
like I
out.
said again, if you want to follow her, guys, her IG is in the description of this live. Check her
There
out.
we go.
Also, if somebody looking for, if you're going through some mental health, if you family health, anything like you need, here's is
Or
the link. Yeah,
just
check out her gym
message.
rat. Yeah, go to Jim Rat and call her at 805-335-1915. If you're so interested, just maybe just the talk or doing balance stuff, or your athlete.